Before the 20GB 3080 and 16GB 3070 Super make their entrance, AMD needs to show Navi 2. We kinda need RDNA 2 and Big Navi to deliver, but don't you worry guys, Big Navi is looking good, at least according to Copite 7 Kimi. And think about it, there is a very good reason why there's a 3070 Super and a 20GB 3080 in the making. Nvidia is planning for what to come, and they know there is a red monster waiting to be awakened. Now there seems to be a lot of people that don't think AMD's got a chance against Ampere, so in today's video let's look at what we know about RX 6000 so far. Does Big Navi stand a chance versus the 3090? Yeah, let's find out. But before we get into whether AMD's got what it takes to give Nvidia a real battle for this generation, let's quickly have a look at the 3080 gaming performance. There is no denying that the upcoming 3080 is fast. In a video published just a few hours ago, Nvidia demonstrates how upcoming 3080 absolutely demolishes the 2080 Ti in Doom Eternal, delivering over 150 FPS at 4K resolution with all quality and image settings maxed out. But it doesn't stop there. Nvidia has also shared even more performance metrics that is going to make all of us forget about the 2080 Ti. Recently, the 3080 was also put through a number of CUDA and OpenCL tests with the Compute Bench benchmark suit, and video cards did a tremendous job putting all numbers together. And as we can see, 3080 is on average 168% of 2080 performance and 138 to 141 performance of the 2080 Ti, which is much thanks to all these benefits Nvidia's been able to do with Ampere, where the extra CUDA cores plays a major role here. And by simply doubling the FP42, Nvidia's been able to squeeze out even more performance out of Ampere than what we first thought possible. Nvidia recently did a Reddit Q&A session where Justin Walker, Nvidia's director of GeForce product management, shared some game examples where he mentions that the 3080 is able to deliver between 60 and 100 FPS in several AAA games at 4K resolution with everything maxed out. Nvidia also answered the one question many seems to have right now, whether the 3080 with its 10GB memory is sufficient to run next generation AAA titles. Justin replied that the goal for the next gen flagship was to provide great performance and up to 4K resolution with all settings cranked up to max at the best possible price. Obviously Nvidia doesn't want to share that there are more cards in the making, even though we clearly know that there are. Anyway, Justin mentions that there are several games that the 3080 is able to run at 4K max settings with high res textures and use anywhere from 4 to 6 gigs of VRAM. Something worth having in mind here guys is that all games mentioned are games that were developed on last generation. Keep in mind both Series X and PS5 got 16 gigs of VRAM running on RDNA 2 from AMD. There is no way developers won't make use of the extra VRAM in future games, so while Nvidia make their new flagship seem like the ultimate 4K GPU right now, it is safe to say that this card won't age that well, I'm afraid. Which yeah, kinda begs the question, why leave such a big gap between 3090 and 3080? Well, the answer is pretty simple. You're gonna need these cards to counter once Navi's out, or else they got nothing to respond with. And we already seen early glimpses of RDNA 2 from both Series X and PS5, and AMD's done a fantastic job with RDNA 2. Nvidia definitely seen RDNA 2 in action, and they responded by shocking all of us with very aggressive pricing, and now they're waiting for AMD to make the next move. And this is where things gets interesting, because from the look of it, it does seem like Nvidia's aggressive pricing actually had an impact on AMD as well, who now seems to rethink pricing of some of their cards. When I saw this tweet from Cortex, based on leaks we've seen so far, this 16GB card cannot be AMD's high-end GPU called Navi 21. It is not possible because Navi 21 will be much more expensive, and that made me realize this could possibly most likely be Navi 22. This is a mid-tier RDNA 2 GPU, about the same size of Xbox Series X, and because it's smaller, it can be sold for $499, and it should possibly be on par with the GA104 GPU. And I actually talked about this in a video I did a few days ago, and in case you're interested, you find that video linked up down below. Currently, we don't know much about the CPU. There seems to be at least two variants of it, one 16GB and another 8. We're both having dead target at the RTX 3070 and should therefore perform like an RTX 2080 Ti. And I hope you're starting to realize where this is going. Nvidia is currently planning a 20GB variant of the 3080, and this card is said to target Big Navi 21, also known as Sienna Cichlid or Big Navi, a 505mm chip with 16GB of VRAM on a 512-bit memory bus. This will most likely be a $700 chip at least. We should expect to see performance in the 3080 region, as Big Navi is faster than GA104. Now, whether AMD will be able to compete with RDNA 2 all the way up to RTX 3090 levels obviously remains to be seen, but from what we have seen from Series X and PS5 from a gaming point of view, until we've seen what Navi 21 is capable of, anything should be possible. Now remember guys, all chips based on RDNA 2 have DX12 Ultimate support, and you're also getting VSR, ray tracing, and AMD's own DLSS technique, etc, etc. As for release, Navi is still on track and we expect a release date around October or November. So what do you think guys? Should Nvidia be worried? There's obviously going to be more to this story, so make sure to subscribe to the channel to never miss out on any big Navi news.